Well, weren't you singing Tenacious D before we started this?
I was earlier.
We'll do it again.
Why?
I guess you're right. We don't have to do that. Hello, everybody. I have not worked on this greeting whatsoever. I'm a lousy host, but we are the Yackoffs, and this is our first ever recording that we're going to put on YouTube. It's an analysis video. We're going to have several different kinds of videos on this channel, and we'll have a shameless channel plug here later on. We're going to tell you what we're going to kind of be about and the kind of hopes we have for this channel. But we're not here to talk about that shit right now. We're here to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's conclusion to the saga that they have been building since 2008 with the first Iron Man, and that is Avengers Endgame. And we're going to kind of give you our predictions of what we think is going to happen in the movie. I'm Connor, the guy with no podcasting skills whatsoever, first time doing this, please don't hate. And I'm joined by my best friend Adam, who is also going to be a part of this channel.
Hi guys, I'm here.
Yeah, they can't see you wave, but thanks anyway. I don't know why I'm giving you shit. I'm a fucking nervous wreck over here. I told him when I get nervous, I turn into the greatest death metal drummer in the world. Like, it's going to be like this the whole time. So if you hear that in the background, I'm really sorry. But I'm not here to apologize. I'm here to talk about some Marvel movies. Let's kind of talk about what's happened so far. Well, what's your favorite Marvel movie, you think?
My favorite falls between Civil War, Ragnarok, and probably the first Guardians. If I had to pick a top out of those, I'm probably going to say Ragnarok.
That's your favorite?
I think so. I really enjoyed Ragnarok a lot.
Oh, we have another buddy that's going to join us in a video in the future. We want him to be a big part of this channel. Justin, that I'm pretty sure that's his favorite movie too. The fucking slow-mo that happens in that, and the Led Zeppelin music too. Adam's not a fan of Led Zeppelin. I don't know anyone else, but that's okay. I forgot what kind of camera. I mean, I don't really know what kind of camera they used to shoot that slow-mo scene of like Valkyrie and like all her people like getting killed by Thor's bitchy sister. That was really cool though. I really like what they did to the Thor character. I think my favorite is probably still the Winter Soldier. That came out during the NSA scandal, and it was just cool to see like a spy thriller. And it kind of made this Boy Scout Captain America, who I've never been a fan of in comics, really, to be totally honest, it made him really cool and badass. And it also brought him into a very cold and jaded world that wasn't the 1940s. And it kind of made him become jaded. And I see, not a Captain America comic books fan, but I love Chris Evans and Captain America in these movies. And I'm going to be really upset if he dies. And I think there's a possibility he's going to die. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Speaking of people dying, there are a fuck ton of people that died in that last Avengers movie.
There were.
What do you think about the last Avengers movie?
I thought Infinity Wars was absolutely phenomenal.
I did too.
I thought it was great. Just seeing what they did when Thanos literally broke Thor, and you thought that was it. You know, yeah. the big mighty thunder god, you know, has been broken. There's no coming back, and just for him to think, oh well, let's go get me a new weapon made because this motherfucker broke my hammer, like right. You know, no problem. So just to see him come back from that, and then just come down to Wakanda and just, I mean, full Ragnarok mode, talking about bring me Thanos. I mean, that part right there was enough to get me so hyped for whatever they have to come, and the rest of that movie. Now, the beginning, the opening was amazing. Thor coming in, or not Thor, Hulk coming in and just duking it out with Thanos at first, and you think that he actually has somewhat of a chance, and then Thanos is just like, no.
No.
Let's just go ahead and cut this out right now.
Were you there when Jared was playing Magic with me, and I was like, "Bitch, I got you fucking beat. I got you beat." And then he like did that. I don't know why. What's the blue like spell deck called or whatever? Control.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had a bunch of spells, and I was just like, "I'm gonna get you." And he's like, just like laid one down. I was like, I don't know why I didn't see that coming. You don't have someone with a suit of armor that fucking cool holding on to Infinity Gauntlets or one Infinity Stone. You're like, I'm gonna fucking kick this dude's ass. No, Hawk's a dumbass, dude. He's a big, dumb bitch. I'm just kidding. I love you, Hawk. Have you seen that? I'm sure you've seen that gif of him and Black Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets a little bit of his manlyhood back, though, in this movie.
I fucking hate the internet. You remember that second Avengers movie where they tried to ship Hulk and Black Widow?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to bank by the end of this movie?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't think they're going to take it into something like that.
How about Bruce Banner and Black Widow?
Maybe. I don't think they're going to show it, but they'll hint around to it. I believe it'll
not show, but you think they're going to be a couple?
I think there is a possibility of that, because they do have like a connection between each other. Obviously, she's like the only one that can calm him down when he's just full rage Hulk mode. So yeah, I can totally see something like that happening.
That is true. What did they? Who is it? Tony Stark said, "You upset the man with breathtaking like rage issues." Yeah, that's pretty true. Speaking of other stuff you think is going to happen in this movie, I have not showed you a lot of these pictures I have pulled up on Google that I want to show you and craft. I've crafted my theory about what's going to happen. What do you think's going to happen without, really, you don't really follow this stuff like I do. You have any ideas? Like, are these people coming back at the end? All the people that died?
I think so. I think they'll figure out a way to bring them back.
You have no idea how, though.
I honestly think I think Ant-Man will have a big part in it. I
do too.
Him being able to go in and out of the quantum realm,
all right, good,
and not be phased by it.
Yes.
I think that he has a big part in bringing them back. Not just because they kind of sidelined him in the Infinity Wars, and they're making a big deal about him now in the trailers, but just for the simple fact of what they showed us in Ant-Man versus the Wasp, with him being able to go into the quantum realm unfazed and come back. I think that will have a big part in it.
All right.
Without Doctor Strange being around.
I agree with that. There are the 6 core Avengers, and Hawkeye wasn't in the last Avengers movie, Infinity War. They're all going to play big roles, obviously. But some of these side characters that they have from other franchises, they have War Machine, Nebula, Rocket, Raccoon. Who the fuck else? Is that it?
I think girl from Wakanda.
Okoye, yeah, she's in the poster. Okay. You think she's gonna be like going with the team or whatnot, or you think she's gonna stay in Wakanda?
It's hard to say because they're kind of hinting around that she will be something, that she will do something.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be a big part, but I think if it comes down to the Black Panther not being there and Wakanda needing to step in to some of the parts, I think she will definitely have a part in something like that as far as leading the Wakandians, however you would like to say that.
Wakanadans.
All
right.
So I think at that point she will step in. As far as being a part of the actual crew and team,
no,
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that either. She's not in any of the marketing, which You've seen the trailers, but they haven't really showed much in this marketing. They're keeping it very hush hush. I kind of like that because I feel like I have an understanding of what might happen, but really I don't know, and I definitely don't know like the end results to this movie. Another thing, what like you think Cap and Tony are gonna make up?
Yeah, I think this is the movie where they do it. Mainly because
Do they bang?
no, I wouldn't think so. But you never know. I think they do, and I think it's because Tony has realized that he needs the captain now, and I think Captain America feels the same way. I think he feels that they need to band together now more than ever, and they need to set past endeavors aside.
Yes.
And just figure out a way to do this. And I think, in a weird way, I think Captain Marvel is going to have a part in bringing them back together, too.
Bringing them back together?
Bringing the Avengers back together. I think she's going to have a part in that.
That's interesting. She might. She kind of seems a bit... Ooh, what's the word? I don't think she cares that much, but she probably does, but I don't think she's a good moral compass for the universe of Marvel. I think from what Kevin Feige, you know who Kevin Feige is?
I can't say it.
He's the president of the Marvel movies. He's the one that has envisioned all this stuff and like made it happen. He's the big time like producer, and he's like the CEO of the Marvel or president, whatever the fuck. But he's the dude that runs Marvel. He has said that Captain Marvel is actually the strongest character inside the cinematic universe. So that's stronger than Hulk, stronger than Thor. I guess stronger than Thanos if he doesn't have a gauntlet. I'm worried about her just coming in and like taking care of everything like in a very quick and sudden way. You don't think that's going to happen, do you?
I don't think so. I think Thanos, the way they perceived his character in the last movie, I think he's a lot more careful. I think he's going to have something ready for the returning Avengers. He knows they're coming for him. He has to know. But I think you have Tony Stark as the all the trailers show. He's stuck out in space, no oxygen, no food. There's no fuel, no way for him to get back. The ship is completely destroyed.
He's gonna come back in like 5 minutes, though.
Right, and that's where I get into thinking Captain Marvel has something to do with that.
You think so?
It's either her or it'll be Rocket in them, because nobody else has the means to get him out of the middle of space. I don't think that I can think of.
I have one more theory on who it could be, and this is mainly...
But if you're asking, do I think Captain Marvel is going to come in like Superman in Justice League and just whip up the last like 5 minutes of the movie? Yeah. No, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I hope that's not the fucking case. Yeah, what a disappointing movie. I have a Batman tattoo. Like, I'm supposed to like DC more. I mean, I like them both. I'm not going to be one of those people. But, what a disappointing movie that I've been waiting for since I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Coming from a hardcore Superman fan, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Oh, yeah, you're the Superman fan and I'm the Batman fan. And I don't know. Yeah, it sucks what happened to Superman in that fucking last DC movie before Justice League, right?
Ha! Yeah. Just, I don't know, the DC universe is, I enjoyed Aquaman, though, to say the least.
I heard Shazam's really good.
But I just don't understand how you lead off with such an amazing movie like Man of Steel and then you just kind of go downhill from there.
Yeah, me neither. Back to what the fuck happens to Tony Stark to get him out of space. I can't send this to you. I don't know why. That's behind the scenes picture of Pepper Potts, played by business mogul genius. Total sarcasm. Gwyneth Paltrow. That's her in armor, and a lot of people speculate that she'll be playing her superhero identity, Rescue, in this, just to save Tony. I think it's kind of fucking dumb. But just seeing that kind of looks like that's gonna be the case. Maybe she's the one that goes up into space. Who knows?
Maybe. Or maybe she thinks Tony is dead and she takes the Iron Man spot until Tony comes back.
Oh, yeah.
Or attempts to, anyways. Attempts to take the Iron Man spot.
I'm sure everyone would really enjoy just seeing her resign. I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw shades. There's... well, I can't say I don't like her, but she's tried to make a book about like healthy eating and stuff. And she's like, yeah, you just need to do this every day. And just being like as high up in status as she is, I don't think she realized that her meal prep plan that she had going on would cost people like a couple $1,000s every day to eat. And then she made those magic space rocks goop that you put in your vagina, and it gives you different healing practices. I'm not fucking kidding.
I know. I remember. Okay. I remember you telling me about that, and I googled into it. And I'm like, what is this? What am I looking at right now? What am I reading?
She's great as Pepper, though. Yeah, I like her in that role. Gwyneth, I know you're not fucking hearing this, but if you ever do one day, get some help, girl. At least get like a better like moguls. I'm sure you'd like scam some people, but you want some magic vagina rocks that give you?
No, I'm good. I would probably not do anything but put them in my butthole and sulk in utter delight.
Moving on, Thanos. Okay, the Manos.
The Manos, yeah.
Thanos the Manos. I think Thanos dies like in like first like 10 minutes of this movie. And what happens is I think he's still going to play a part. I think he's going to have an alternative version of him, a more powerful version of him, if you will, come back and be like, hey man, you killed my fucking what's the fucking Rick and Morty universe, C17 or whatever, you killed that version of Thanos and fuck you, now I'm gonna eat you. Yeah, I think Thor is just gonna be pissed and just go find him and just like put the Stormbreaker through his head or up his ass or whatever. A lot of people think that Thanos is going to die via ass projectile.
Ant-Man up the ass.
Yeah. Do you think that's possible?
I think it could be. I don't think they're going to do it, obviously.
All right. For one, if Thanos is wearing his full set of armor, which I'm about to show you, he's totally going to wear his fucking armor in this one. Where the fuck is Ant-Man going? Like, you've seen his armor. He doesn't have butt crack showing from his armor. Like, he's not gonna crawl down anything. And two, he got hit, he got like clonked on the head with a fucking spaceship in Infinity War. And he's like, ow. Like, he survived that. Do you think just having someone like trying to split his butt cheeks apart, do you think like they're gonna be able to do that? No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I actually think Thanos will have different armor coming into this movie because the Stormbreaker did pierce it, and it was almost his downfall in Infinity Wars, except it just kept him alive long enough for him to use the Infinity Gauntlet, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think he will have some new armor or something forged to make him safer in that circumstance, because the Stormbreaker obviously pierced it and almost ended it.
Well, funny you mentioned that. Here is some concept art of Thanos in Endgame with what a lot of people think is an Infinity Sword, which I don't really know what that is. I read the Infinity Gauntlet comic book, and I started Infinity War, which in the comic world is a lot different from the Infinity War movie. And I read some of Infinity Quest or whatever. Infinity Gauntlet's the shit, which I think this movie's going to be very, very, very loosely based on. But I'm glad they didn't call it Infinity Gauntlet because it looks very different too.
Like that picture you just showed, he's obviously in like full on like gladiator armor.
Yeah,
he's in a very different armor.
He is going to tussle for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely coming back like ready for the fight.
Okay. Now this is what makes me believe that there's going to be an alternative version of Thanos. This is a Lego set that has been leaked, and this happens a lot. Toy leaks. That says Avengers Endgame compound battle set. So what I think is going to happen is all of the Avengers have kind of reassembled, and here comes Thanos. That's not C-17 Thanos. I think that's what it's called. I'm gonna feel really stupid if I love Rick and Morty, but I'm fucking up the timeline, man. He's coming down with a hammer too. But do you remember how his arm was just like totally charred to shit at the end of Infinity War?
Yeah, after he snapped or whatever.
Yeah, that's not happening. And in this new concept art too, you see Thanos with a fully assembled gauntlet, and it doesn't look all destroyed like it was.
Obviously, the gauntlet was destroyed at the end of.
So how is he going to look all fresh and shit after he got his ass kicked the last movie?
I don't know.
Yep.
Well, also, I guess a toy isn't really going to.
It's not
have his arm charred in a broken Infinity
Gauntlet.
Well,
it might. But also these Lego sets that have come out before have been like slightly different. But I still think there's going to be a giant compound battle. And I think that these people, the Avengers, are going to be popping in and out of different versions of universes. Like the multiverse that was teased in Doctor Strange. I think these people are going to be popping into different timelines or more of universe lines to try and stop Thanos. I really don't know how. I think the quantum realm is going to do that. And Tony Stark is going to figure out what's going on when Scott Lang, Ant-Man, starts oh yeah, man, I got fucking stuck in here. And it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Especially at this point, because he has to figure out how to get out on his own. He has nobody.
How do you think he gets out?
Pulling him out. I don't know. I mean, he was able to get out in the first movie. I think he uses maybe some kind of strategy that he might have picked up or learned from the first Ant-Man. What do you think about Loki? Does Loki come back in this movie? There's been a lot of hype and teasing about it.
Loki is different. Loki was killed before the snap, or I think the directors are calling it the decimation.
Right.
Which is cool. I like Snapshire better. I don't know. I think you're going to see Loki. Actually, some of these behind the scene set images, that is actually not from the first Avengers movie. That is a behind the scenes set photos of this movie. And you've seen this one too. That's the Battle of New York. And you can see Captain America in his old school suit, which I think looks really fucking dumb. It looked like pajamas. Sorry. I love the first Avengers movie. Hate the Captain America suit. And you also see Scott Lang in there. And you see what seems to be like a more current day Iron Man. They're fixing something. I know that Loki is getting a spinoff TV show. Do you know about this?
Yeah, I've heard some things about it.
Him, Scarlet Witch. So, yeah, obviously these people are coming back. I think Bucky and Falcon are getting like a buddy cop. I think maybe Hawkeye is getting one. I'm not 1,000% sure on all these guys. I really have no idea how they would bring Loki back unless they just did like a universe reset, which I think is a very, very, very good possibility. But what about Gamora?
If they figure out a way to bring Loki back, yes, I think Gamora comes back. If they only figure out how to bring back the people that were affected by the Infinity Gauntlet, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's a tricky area to really think of and like talk about, because it was such a pinnacle moment for her to die. Yeah. And I really feel like if they brought her back, it almost just kind of like wasted that whole entire.
Well, they've done a lot of fake deaths in Marvel.
They have.
In the second Thor movie,
died like 7 times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the first Thor movie fucking dies. He falls off the bridge. Ah! And he's like, "No, I'm back. It's all cool." I did like some dog paddling and I escaped the fucking void of space. It's all Gucci.
Then again, Gamora maybe does come back and helps them defeat Thanos. She has the most knowledge of Thanos, obviously. Thanos.
Now there's someone with the Avengers that really has a hate boner for Thanos, and that is Nebula. And I think she will be the one that kind of feeds them information, which is cool because Nebula's still not necessarily a good guy at this point. I like the character, and the actress is like ridiculously hot too. Like, Karen Gillan. You like how white people have started making that noise all of a sudden since it got mean? So, oof. 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 Yeah. I don't like that shit. Grow up, white people. Yeah, she's going to be the person with the hate boner for Thanos. I'll get back to her in a second. I actually have an interesting idea of how Gamora is kind of going to be brought back, but not really. And I feel like she's going to be trapped inside of the soul world from the comic books. You can see and hear this flashback at the very end of Infinity War. You see him talking to adolescent Gamora? Right. In an orange setting.
And she asked him,
right,
was it worth it and all that.
In the comic book, I think this is during the Thanos quest. Adam Warlock, who will most likely not be in this movie. Big Infinity Gauntlet character. He was teased at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie. I don't even know if he's going to be in Guardians 3, but whatever. Actually, I kind of think he is. He gets stuck in the soul world, which also has this orange tint of a background. That's what makes me believe that this is the soul world. And I think Gamora is kind of going to be tied to there, and she's going to be stuck in as a sacrifice. And I think there's a possibility that when Thanos snapped, all of these other characters actually appeared in the soul world. And I think there's going to actually be like a separate plot going on with these people trying to get out. I think Gamora might be trapped in there, though, because she is the catalyst for Thanos getting the Soul Stone. And I think maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which looks like it's going to happen now since James Gunn is back. I think that one's going to be a movie about getting Gamora back from the Soul World. Maybe having to fight Adam Warlock and Quasar, all those people that you probably don't know who they are, but that's fine.
So you don't think Gamora comes back in this movie?
I think she'll make an appearance, but I don't think she'll be back.
Right.
I also kind of speculate that Vision is going to come back, but he's not going to be Vision because he isn't connected to
the Infinity Stone.
Yeah, which is this thing that gave him life and sentience in the source material. Going to be one of those people. He kind of has this white form, and it goes on in the Infinity Gauntlet comic book.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of Infinity War, this is what he looks like, right?
Right.
Soulless.
Great. Yeah.
I kind of think that he's going to play a part. I was thinking that Shuri was going to be the one to bring him back because she was working on Infinity War, working on Vision in Infinity War, and was saying, well, the best parts of him are still like kind of stored and whatever, but we got to get this fucking shiny rock off his head. And now I don't know if Shuri is going to be the person to bring Vision back, because this week these posters came out showing who is not dead and who is dead. And not dead, you got the 6 original Avengers, Rocket, Okoye. Apparently Wong is still alive. Valkyrie's still alive, which is cool. Captain Marvel, Vagina Rocks Lady, War Machine, Nebula, and Happy Hogan, the guy who is not going to bang Aunt May in the next Spider-Man movie, calling it now. And then you see everyone that was snapshored. And also in here is Shuri, Black Panther's little sister. And I think it's weird that you don't actually, when they had that big montage of everyone disappearing, you saw all these people in black and white. You saw them disappearing. But you didn't see Shuri disappear. Right. The last thing you saw was Corvus Glaive knocking her down, and then Vision fighting Corvus Glaive as he was going to finish her off. And then they take that battle out into the woods. But you don't actually see Shuri die or get dusted. That's the term the internet has come up with. I find that weird. And I know in the trailer you can also see a screen of people who are missing, but you also see Ant-Man missing, Scott Lang, and the Avengers are obviously aware of Ant-Man because of Civil War and the first Ant-Man movie. But Shuri's on this list of missing people in this trailer. It's just like, well, maybe she's missing, but maybe she wasn't killed by the Snapshot. Yeah, I'm still calling it the Snapshot. Maybe she wasn't killed by that. I feel like before I saw Captain Marvel, I feel like one of the Skrull were going to abduct her. Now, after seeing Captain Marvel, kind of made the Skrulls out to be the good guy. I don't know about that. And the Skrull leader still said that the Skrulls have done like heinous things and like shit because it's war. Maybe they're trying to figure something out about the Infinity Gauntlet because they made like a deal with Thanos. Like, hey man, we barely have any Skrulls left. If you spare us when you do this giant Snapshot thing, that'd be cool. And Thanos is like, oh, I fucking lied to you. Fuck you. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I just think it's weird that Shuri wasn't seen getting dusted. You have any thoughts about that?
I actually haven't thought about it until you just said something. I never really realized it. But I also just now seen that poster that you're talking about. I don't know, because like you said, Ant-Man, it's showing him like not there or whatever too. It could just be something as simple as that, as her just like not being there, maybe not taken out of with the gauntlet.
Yeah.
But
the
possibility of her just not being there.
Yeah, the last Avengers movie, there was misleading marketing all the time. Like, you saw Hulk in the trailers way more than he should be. I think there's a reason for that too. I'm going to get to that next. And then you saw Thanos with only 2 stones the whole trailer, even though it was like towards the end of the movie and he had like every stone except the Mind Stone. You even see that on the Netflix picture, like before you have that movie pulled up. It's like, oh yeah, he's only got 2 stones. And that's because the directors don't want you to piece everything together before the movie comes out, which is cool. I really think that Shuri is the big misleading thing, and I don't know why I think that, but I have a hunch. And like even in this is a Chinese poster that came out yesterday. It's got all the people still alive, and it's got all the dusted folks at the bottom. And there's Shuri right there, right beside Vision too, which is also strange.
All I know is looking at these pictures of Hawkeye with this mohawk really makes me miss when I had this mohawk.
Yeah, everyone's gonna,
Now, everybody in the world is going to have it after this movie.
Yeah. You don't think that's like a fuckboy mohawk?
No, dude.
I've been hanging out with my girlfriend too much.
I love it. I mean, I tell my girlfriend all the time that I miss my mohawk when I had that.
Did she think it was a fuckboy mohawk?
No, she just didn't like the mohawk at all. I think it was mainly because of me having it purple at one point and blue.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and red at one point. I don't think she liked the colors too much. Me personally, I missed the mohawk, whether it was colored, whether it was my natural color. I loved it. I don't know if I would necessarily ever do it again, but I loved it.
I love how you're trying to buy me time so I can pull shit up. Yeah, we used to be in a band together, and I saw an old picture come back up with you and the red mohawk. That show at the deli.
Yeah, Cloud Springs Deli. Yep.
Yep. Check out the fucking Hulk. I forgot to fucking even pull this up. Fuck. You sound like my dad. Yeah. So Hulk's got clothes on. Not only that, but he doesn't look as mongoloidish. Why do you think that is?
Well, you see in Ragnarok and in Infinity War, Hulk is starting to become more sophisticated. Mm-hmm. He's learning to speak. He's actually able to think and comprehend instead of just like going crazy and raging on everybody. So I think it'll have something to do with that. I think Bruce Banner finally gets like his mind with the Hulk strength. I think there's the possibility of that.
I think you're dead on the market. Dead on the market. I don't think I got that phrase right.
Dead on the money.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Looking for.
Okay, yeah, I think you're dead on the money. It's set a little bit of tweaking to that. I think that the Hulk and Bruce Banner are going to come together to an understanding and work it out. This relationship that's very complicated that they have. In an Infinity War, the director's commentary, a lot of people thought the Hulk was scared of Thanos. That's why he didn't want to come out. What they said was Hulk was tired of being the fighting bitch of the group.
Yeah, just the tank of the group, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you gotta come out here and get clobbered and do all this stuff you don't want. And Hulk had like an established life in Ragnarok. He's the champion. People weren't afraid of him like they were in Age of Ultron, where he was tearing that city apart. He was loved, and he was able to like smash the fuck out of things that weren't Scarlett Johansson, and people appreciate him. And I think there's a little bit of retribution that's not happening anymore. He's back on Earth, and now it's people just kind of giving all these bad assumptions or presumptions about who they think the Hulk is, and he's this big evil guy that just works with the Avengers for whatever reason. There's a scene in Infinity Gauntlet before all these people attack Thanos, and Wolverine and Hulk have a conversation. It's like, listen, buddy, I know we hate each other because in the fucking comics, Wolverine and Hulk hate each other. Like, Hulk tears Wolverine in half one time. It's really fucking cool. But like, look, we gotta get this shit done, dude. Like, we gotta fucking fix stuff. So I think instead of Wolverine, they're gonna give that to Bruce Banner. You know how The Walking Dead is always like giving different storylines to different people that were from the comic. I like how you rolled your eyes when I mentioned The Walking Dead. But yeah, I think they're gonna do that with Hulk. The last thing before we make death predictions, let's go back to this quantum realm, jumping through different reality things. Those things on these folks' wrist, a lot of people thought originally that was barf technology, like from Captain America Civil War, when Tony was like reliving the last conversation he had with his mother and father. You remember that?
Yes.
A lot of people thought that they were in augmented virtual reality, kind of coming up with ways to defeat Thanos. I actually think that those are like storage units for these quantum realm suits that we see at the last of the Avengers trailer. I think that's all there is. And they're going to be hopping through time, or not through time, but through different realities.
Right, because you see in this picture right here, they have Hulk in the new Avengers suit, and he also has one of the wristwatches. So I can see that. I think that'll play a big part in how they have to defeat Thanos.
Just a little side note, I think they're going to bring everyone back who's coming back at the end, and there's this huge spread in Infinity Gauntlet, which would be the conclusion, the comics version of the conclusion of this story. This giant spread, all these people going after Thanos. I think there's a chance that they might be going after like a fully powered up Thanos. I think there's a possibility of all of them going after Thanos in the quantum realm and just kind of having like a big, like really weird mystical final battle there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this last thing before death predictions. I know I said that last subject we had, but what do you think about celestial beings? One was introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy, Kurt Russell. The second Guardians of the Galaxy, not really a great movie in my opinion. But what do you think about beings like that?
Like intervening?
Yeah. And you're like, Thanos, what the fuck?
I think it's a possibility. Because, like you said, they were introduced. Obviously, the one that was introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy was killed at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
The one that was introduced in Doctor Strange, however, was not.
Oh, Dormammu?
Yeah.
Why would Dormammu be pissed? Do you think the fucking snap like affected people of that kind of caliber?
I'm not sure if it did because I would assume the Celestials don't count as the universe.
Oh yeah, they're outside of it.
Right.
Okay, that would make sense.
But I do think the Celestials, you know, they're pretty much there to keep to pretty much do what Thanos is attempting to do. They're there to keep the balance of things differently from Thanos, obviously. Okay. And so, I think they're going to be like, yo, dude, you're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we don't like it because you're not doing a very good job at it.
I ask you these questions because I know one of the movies that they're planning after Avengers 4 is an Eternals movie, which are are the people who are like above Thanos in power. I think his dad was an Eternal. I don't really know that much about it. I know there's like a huge like history of stuff that I don't know. I've just read Infinity Gauntlet. I'm not gonna act like a comic snob completely. I have read a few comic books, especially Infinity Gauntlet. That's just great.
And I have read very few.
Very few, but I don't know that much about the Eternals. I do know that they're going to be a big part of this Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. And actually this week, I think like a day or two ago, it got announced that Angelina Jolie is actually going to maybe be the lead of the Eternals movie. Not feeling it? Do you like Maleficent?
I thought Maleficent was okay.
I like Maleficent.
They're making a second part to it as well. So
you think she's actually gonna be evil in that one?
I'm not sure.
I hope so. I want to see her do some bad bitch stuff. Dude.
The way they kind of played the poster and stuff I've seen, yeah, I think.
You think so?
I think she'll be darker.
All right, that's good.
Instead of like more caring. I don't know. Maybe it's not that I hate Angelina Jolie. I just don't really know if like I want to see her do that. But I mean, hey, if she does a good job, then she does a good job. That's all I'm worried about.
Fair enough. Fuck it, let's do our shameless plug for the rest of the channel, and then we're going to finish this video out by talking about what we think is going to happen in this universe going forward. So we are the Yackoffs, and...
The Yackoffs. We sound like a parody band or something. We are the Yackoffs. How are you doing, Brooklyn?
It sounds like Weird Al Yankovic is going to be like a part of our little...
Hi, we're opening for Weird Al Yankovic tonight. We are Weird Al and the Yackoffs.
He's probably going to sue us. Well, the Yackoffs wasn't taken, so I chose that name because it sounded like Jackoffs, and we talk about stuff. Oh, yeah, fucking clever. That's subject to change. I am wanting for this channel to do analysis videos like this. I am also wanting us to do review videos. And then I want us to be joined by our two friends where we have a weekly or maybe bi-weekly podcast talking about shit that we just find interesting and just kind of chatting with each other, maybe playing some games, getting drunkish, but not too drunkish. Justin gets drunk on one beer, so that'll be really funny. But it will be something we just wanted to do and something that I have wanted to try. We've been talking about doing this for like a year, and fucking today, last week, we were just like, fuck it, let's do this. And we finally did it. So I'm happy about that. You guys are also planning on doing some streaming stuff, right?
All right, I'm going to try and start streaming maybe some games or something soon.
Yes. I realize you have been that far away from your mic for a while, and I've been like, right here. That's shitty. We're also going to get better at audio quality in the future. This is kind of our first attempt, and we also want to try and review a lot of movies coming out this month, or at least I do. Might be doing it without folks. Might get Justin in for a video or two. But back together when Game of Thrones comes out. It'd be cool to do a weekly recap of what's going on in Game of Thrones. Not 100% sure if we're going to be able to do that, but we'll see. What else was I kind of... at some point, I'm going to come back with reviews and analysis of all, I'm going to say 24 Studio Ghibli movies. I'm going to count The Red Turtle and Ocean Waves as movies, even though a lot of people don't. It took me a year, and Adam helped me, a good birthday present, but it took me January 2018 to 2019 to collect all these movies on Blu-ray, and I'm going to put a massive review up on the channel, so if you're a weeaboo, maybe stick around for that, and if you're not, I'm not either, but I mean, these movies are awesome. You like Spirited Away, right?
I like Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. There's like 2 or 3 that other ones I've seen that I'd have to think. Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
There's a couple ones I've seen there.
They're great. And there are a few of them that really affected me in profound ways that I'm going to talk about. So if you want to subscribe to a channel of just buds keeping it real with each other and talking about stuff like this, like video games, like other entertainment, or just like we said, shit we find interesting, feel free to subscribe to the Yackoffs. Also, still subject to change. So now that our shameless plug is out of the way, you think that was a good shameless plug? Think I did okay?
I think you did fine, buddy.
My girlfriend says I should be an advertiser, and I'm just like, I don't fucking see it. She's like, you say funny shit. It's like, yeah, but like, what am I gonna say at a caller commercial?
My girlfriend tells me I'm not funny, even though I'm pretty fucking funny. I think she's the not funny one.
I agree with that.
Whoops. Sorry.
We also have another friend that thinks Adam's funnier than me, which I don't. Okay, I guess I haven't been really that funny during this this little.
Me neither.
Attempt at strain. You know, we'll get better at it. Are you on your fucking phone right now?
Yeah, dude.
What are you looking at?
Is
it important?
Well, I mean, Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover in event history, and then there's a picture of Tim McGraw and Nelly.
is that a real? Are they doing? Is that an actual thing that's happening?
Yeah, that was a
what
meme.
The fuck? No, but Tim McGraw and Nelly are.
No, they did a song together in like the early 2000s, bro.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, that's just over and over again about the same thing. You never heard that song?
No.
Oh, well.
Maybe I did and just assumed it was
a
Florida Georgia Line song.
Oh God, Nelly did do a Florida Georgia Line song.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh God, I bet that's atrocious.
Yeah, anything Georgia Line does.
My girlfriend's she doesn't have a Bluetooth radio in her car, and her aux port is messed up, so we have to listen to the radio whenever she drives. I hate driving. Like I drive up there, and it's like 30-ish minute drive away from my house. I guess down there. I'm not gonna tell you guys where I live. Don't want any serial killers showing up. But so we have to listen to the radio whenever we want to listen to music. And a Florida Georgia Line song came on. It's like, it will be like, and I knew the words to the fucking chorus because I hear it at work so much because I work with a bunch of hicks.
The whole song is just that.
Well, yeah, dude. And I was just like, oh God, I'm so ashamed that I know this. It's bad. No, it's not bad. Marvel. Let's go back to the safe world and talk about what is going to happen after this movie. Maybe do we think that they're moving on to the next phase of Marvel? Is there going to be a Marvel without Captain America or Iron Man?
I think the possibility is there. I think they are preparing to pass the torch with I'm going to call them the Phase 2 Marvel crew.
Yeah.
With the Guardians, Black Panther, Spider-Man, all of them. So I think there's a very good possibility. The fact that the second Spider-Man movie does not include Tony Stark in the trailer, but includes Happy in the trailer.
And Samuel L. Jackson too.
And Samuel L. Jackson.
That motherfucker's back.
I'm glad. I think there could be a big possibility that we don't see Tony Stark after this. Then there's also the possibility that we don't see a Captain America after this as well.
I think it's interesting because narratively speaking, Cap seems like the guy who would sacrifice himself. He's already sacrificed a lot. He's gone into a completely different timeline and sacrificed the love of his life, or being with her at least, not like killing her and shit, to save a lot of people's lives in that first Captain America movie. And then he kept sacrificing, and he almost had to sacrifice his best friend, but he didn't do it. He found a way to save his best friend from his current ally in Captain America Civil War.
Right.
And he got just, what's the word? He got a lot of people criticizing him, and he became a fucking fugitive, even though he saved the world multiple times, and he's the first Avenger. And it's really cool because at the end of that movie, you and I would be pissed if someone put us through that. Like fucking Iron Man, if he put us through that, we wouldn't, just knowing us, we probably wouldn't be buddy with him in the end. Captain America gives him a cell phone, a little burner phone. Stan Lee fucking delivers it to him. By the way, we got to talk about what Stan Lee's going to do in this movie. I forgot to talk about that. He's like, you can call me whenever you need to. Even though you just tried to kill my best friend, you knew it wasn't his fault that he killed your parents. And now, because of you, me and a bunch of other people are going to be on the run constantly. Thanks fucking lot. Like, I wouldn't be like, hey, let's be pals. Maybe if the world's ending, I don't know, fuck it. And he's like, well, you know what? I know we're not on good terms, but you call me whenever you need me, and I'll still fucking be there. He would be the guy that sacrifices himself. So I think that's predictable, dude. I think
that too. I think if it comes down to a point where something needs to be done and somebody has to die in order for it to get done, I think Captain America is the one that.
You think so?
That. I think so.
Well, like I said, I think that's very predictable. And I think there's a chance that Iron Man wouldn't let that happen, if there had to be like a self-sacrifice.
I actually think there's an argument.
Yeah.
I think Iron Man tries to do it, and Captain America steps up, and he's like, "Hey, no,
I could see both.
I need to do this," and they kind of like bicker back and forth.
But imagine how broken Iron Man would be going forward if Cap sacrificed himself and he didn't stop him. Because Iron Man kind of has sucked since Age of Ultron. Tried to create an artificial intelligence that did kill a lot of people. And that led to the events of Civil War. And then he was the person that really tore the Avengers apart. And then if he just let his friend die, like this guy that came back after all that shit he put him through, I don't think that Iron Man would be the same in like a good way. Like I think he would get too dark, jaded. I really think that Iron Man and Cap are the two big people that they could kill off. Granted, we don't even know if they're going to kill any of them off. Okay. How do you think this movie is gonna end for the other core Avengers like Hawkeye, Black Widow? She's getting her own solo movie. Thor, Hulk. You think they're gonna make it out?
I think Hawkeye does, and I think he probably retires.
You think so?
I think he's more worried about his family more than anything.
Well, I still think his family's gonna get dusted in the beginning of Endgame. And that's why he's like, okay, I'm back. Because he's been trying to retire.
Right. And in the being, locked on the house arrest or whatever and being with his family and not having to be away from them.
Yeah.
I think there's the possibility that he finally realizes he's like, yeah, this is just after this. And especially this being such a huge event that affected his family. Because, all the rest of the events hasn't really affected. Yeah. They haven't really affected his family. But if they do end up being gone because of the snap or whatever, yeah, I think at that point he's finally like, look, this is just too dangerous, and this time it hit him at home.
Right.
I think that Ant-Man's family gets taken.
You think they get taken?
I do. Just from the beginning of...
I think they've casted that 13 Reasons Why girl to play like an older version of his daughter. So I'm not 100% sure if his daughter gets dusted. Maybe, though.
Well, if you look, and I could be wrong, he's walking down the street in the trailer.
Yeah.
And the house it shows behind him kind of looks like the house that he goes to visit in the first Ant-Man.
Oh, and they're not there.
Birthday
That's
party.
right. And then you see the ant. Well, that was his house. All right, so him and his ex-wife are split.
Yeah.
That was his house at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp where the ant's playing drums.
No, that was a different house. I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. Also, I hope the Wasp is like kind of a bigger role because they teased her since like 2015. Finally shows up in this movie, does shit, and then dead. Yeah. Do you think there's gonna be a Hulk going forward? As
far as in the Avengers, I'm not sure. He may just opt to go live his life off somewhere else, like on the planet, that he was on at first. He may just opt to kind of like disappear himself. Maybe not like leave the Earth, but he may like just kind of opt to.
I think ScarJo's still down to play Black Widow, so I don't know how her story's gonna end. I hope it ends with her kind of having like a family, which in Age of Ultron, it teased how upset she was that she got sterilized. She's not ever gonna be able to have kids. I kind of want to see her get like a happy ending, even if it's not like very traditional, maybe a little bit sadistic. If Iron Man survives, I obviously think he should marry Pepper Potts and have that Morgan kid. We named him after eccentric Uncle Morgan. Yeah, okay. It's going to be really weird. The next Spider-Man movie, Far From Home, it's the last Stan Lee cameo that was filmed. It's going to be weird not seeing him in cameos anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
The great passed away. But what you think? I think he's going to marry Pepper and Tony. And if Tony survives, I think that'll be his cameo. He'll be the ordained minister.
I could see that happening. I think going into that thought process, I think if anyone dies, it is Captain America. And then I think Black Widow sees Hulk off if what I said happens. Like if he opts to just be like, after they finish everything and he's just like, I'm just going to live my life on somewhere else. I think it'll be one of them cliche moments where she's like, oh, where will you go? And he's like, I don't know,
just go do Hulk shit.
Yeah, just away from here pretty much.
So that's like a door if Hulk ever wanted to come back, or if Mark Ruffalo ever wanted to come back. No, okay.
That way they wouldn't just completely get rid of him. And if, they were like, hey, we need you for maybe one more movie, or we need you just to make an appearance here, an appearance there, he'd be like, okay.
Dog, I think there's going to be a Ragnarok Part 2.
I hope so.
I really hope so, too. I love what Taika Waititi did, the director of that movie. My nipples are hard. Fuck. I love what he did, and I don't think we're going to see Asgard get rebooted in this movie, like how it's been teased. I think if we did, it'd be like a bow just on top. But you could get like a bigger bow, and like another movie, and like, the Thor fight some bigger space villains, maybe get Asgard off of Earth back into the cosmos, and him and Valkyrie have to bang too because Natalie Portman's boring. Just to be totally fucking honest, I like her as an actress though. Have you seen Annihilation yet? Came out last year.
I don't think so.
I still haven't seen that one, but I really want to see that. I heard that was really good. My friend Joseph loved it. You don't know him, I don't think, but he's a big sci-fi guy, and that movie tickled his fancy. Can I have another water?
Yeah, dude.
Closer to it. Thank you. Okay. So the next movies that are coming out in this new phase of Marvel that have been confirmed is Black Panther 2, Spider-Man Far From Home. There's going to be a Doctor Strange 2, finally, which I'm probably the most excited about out of this list. A Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Let's start with that one, because they're a big, integral part of this universe. James Gunn now he is the director again. He was fired. This is a fucking cool story. James Gunn got blasted by these people who didn't agree with him online politically. So they brought up these tweets that he tweeted 10 years ago that were a bunch of edgy jokes, which, we make. And he got fired, which was really a fucking bad call. And that was like right after the Roseanne thing too. Right. So I think Disney was just like, we can't stand for this, blah, blah, blah. Everything's got to be politically correct. So he got fired because of these people that wanted to get him in trouble. So I heard that he got a $10 million separation deal because they hired him and they're like, oh, we're not going to use you, but we're going to keep your script for the third Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. And then no one wanted to touch the director's chair because they're like, that's fucking James Gunn movie. Everything you're doing is bullshit. Dave Bautista got mad. Dave Bautista plays Drax the Destroyer. He got mad. He's like, yeah, I really don't want to fucking work for Disney anymore because they're doing this shit. Everyone's just mad that James Gunn got fired for a bullshit reason like that. So he got a $10 million separation deal, and then he got hired on to direct Suicide Squad 2. So he's going to make a fuck ton of money directing a DC movie. And then he ended up getting rehired to come back and direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So, well, they kind of fucked up that guy's life, and then they totally didn't and just made it better. So, yeah, good for him, dude. He has said that this version of Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be the last time we see them in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I don't know if they're going to keep anyone like Star-Lord, Gamora, Nebula, Rocket, Groot. I don't think Dave Bautista's coming back after all that shit he said about Disney. He said some fucking pretty crazy shit. He's like, oh, it's fucking nauseating working for these people. So I guess they're going to start a new version of Guardians of the Galaxy. You have any idea what might happen? I kind of still am going under the assumption that they're going to try and get Gamora back so it can be a big, happy ending.
I think...
Not like the massage.
I think that as well. I think you're pretty spot on there.
Yeah.
If she doesn't come back in this one, which I don't think she will. I think they realize where she's at, though, in this one. And that's what drives them to do it. Like you said, it's just a big happy ending, and then Dave Bautista leaves the Marvel Universe and leaves Disney.
I think a lot of the Guardians people are done after that.
Maybe. They'll play it off as like Groot and Rocket go on their separate ways and do their things, and then
I want to see adult-sized Groot again. If not in Endgame, I want to see him in Guardians 3. Do you think there's that post-credit scene of like Sylvester Stallone and all his old team in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? You think they're going to play like a role, or do you think that was just like kind of tease for just like, oh, look what we can do?
I think that storyline's done. I don't know if they'll touch back on it just because that had a lot to do with like Yondu. I think it just had a lot to do with him being gone. I think it was just kind of like, they may make like a little guest appearance or something in like a scene or two, but I don't think it'll be anything big. Okay.
Black Panther 2, I am just going to make my prediction and say there's like a 0.3% chance of this happening. I think Black Panther 2 is maybe where they could introduce the Fantastic Four. They have that outreach center in America from Wakanda.
Right.
Wouldn't it be cool with the events that went on in Wakanda in the Infinity War movie and probably maybe a little bit in Endgame, seeing them reach out to the world more, and maybe the bad guys more of like a traditionalist villain, like the guy from Get Out. He ended up being traditional. I forgot his character's name. Okoye's husband with the rhinos, and maybe he's the bad guy in the second one, but that's kind of boring. But maybe they get someone else. They killed off Claw, which I think was a mistake because Andy Serkis is amazing, and Claw has been Black Panther's like main adversary through Black Panther's history. But I think maybe this outreach center is like a way that they introduce Fantastic Four, and it's like, oh, we're going to do this mission with these people. Oh, fuck, something happened to them in space. Oh, no, they're coming back. And we get to like skip their origin. Maybe they like have a role in that. That's really the only prediction I have about Black Panther.
I think that's a great idea.
You think so?
I think bringing the Fantastic Four in like that, they did Spider-Man, they just brought him into the Marvel universe.
Skip the fucking origin story.
They just brought him into the Marvel universe, and then they gave you a Spider-Man movie, and they're like, here's this Spider-Man movie. You guys already know Uncle Ben's dead. We fucking know that. We're not going to let you sit through it again. We're just going to let you, know that this is a few, like maybe a couple years past or a couple months past, something like that he's been gone, and here's Spider-Man. Yeah. Yes, I think that is a grand idea, especially after they have butchered the last 3 Fantastic Four movies that have come out.
There's like a 4th like TV movie too that was made in like the late 80s or something, and that was bad too.
the last one they made
made a good Fantastic.
The last one they made was just so boring, and it was just lame.
It was stupid. Look, he's making all these heads explode in the hallway. Dr. Doom is.
That's the best part about the whole movie.
Yeah. Why didn't he fucking do that to the Fantastic Four when they were
I just didn't like Footloose Boy playing Mr. Fantastic. I was like, what is this?
It's cool. Michael B. Jordan was Human Torch. A lot of people were against that because black. But I thought he was actually good. He just didn't have anything to do. No one else in that movie did, but whatever. But then he went on to play Killmonger. And that's also interesting because Chris Evans played Human Torch, and now he's Captain America. Yeah, they need to make a good Fantastic Four movie. That's my prediction for Fantastic Four. I think that they're finally going to get Fantastic Four.
I think they do, and then they skip an origin story and get a Fantastic Four.
Sure fucking hope so. I heard that a character called Nightmare was going to be the villain of Doctor Strange 2. I don't fucking know anything about Nightmare. The only 2 Doctor Strange villains I really know about, 3 I guess, Enchantress, Dormammu, and then Mordo. That's it. I don't know anything about Nightmare except like he can infect people's dreams. You have any predictions for Doctor Strange? No, I don't think he's gonna have the Time Stone anymore after Endgame. I think all the Infinity Stones are gonna like fuck off. Maybe in the comics there is something called the Illuminati, where it's Beast, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Professor X, Namor, and Black Panther. Maybe a few more people just kind of making like decisions in the background. I kind of don't see that happening in the movie because of everything, like the meddling thing that Tony Stark has done. Like, why is he gonna meddle anymore? Like, he fucked up meddling. So I don't know.
Maybe if they keep him alive at the end of Endgame, I can see maybe something like that happening. Especially because him and Doctor Strange kind of like they worked a lot together in Infinity Wars. even though they didn't get along too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could possibly see that happening, especially since now Disney has the rights to X-Men. If they've already begun shooting Doctor Strange 2, I don't see it happening. But if it's just like predictions right now and they haven't started filming it yet or anything, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know anything that's going to happen in Doctor Strange. How do you think the X-Men are going to come in?
A lot of predictions are saying they're making an X-Men versus Avengers movie. I don't think that's happening.
I don't know. I could kind of see it, but why?
I just, with a lot of, with Hulk, with all their contracts ending on this movie, I don't see all of them coming back. Like I said, I think Hulk kind of just goes off. I think he's like, I'm done.
Right.
They may do it. I don't think so, though. I think a lot of people are going to be mad. I think they'll reboot.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to reboot. And they'll bring in someone we haven't seen as Wolverine. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's not Hugh Jackman.
Nah, he's done.
But
he's done.
I think that's perfectly okay. Like, he's getting old. He's played it for years, and he did.
Yeah. But it wouldn't make sense to, like, have the fucking old school, like, try and blend in with the new school. Except Deadpool. But that's literally because he's the only character that could, like, make references to, like, movie franchises and shit. I don't know. I think Ryan Reynolds is going to come back. Well, what's interesting is the X-Men are known for this, like, prejudiced history, and they've always been hated on. But how, like, mutants have never once been, mentioned in the MCU, so is that going to be, like, a new thing? Or is it maybe this reality combination at the end of Endgame is gonna mutants were there the whole time? Just kidding. Like, it's gonna be tough to fucking figure.
I don't think it'll be an Endgame. I think they'll wait later on down the road.
Yeah, well, no, mutants can't be an Endgame because they're the Fox Disney deal.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they'll mention it in Endgame or make anything about it.
No. But maybe the events of Endgame lead to the mutants' creation or origin. I don't know. That's just a prediction I've heard. I don't really know.
Maybe. I think it'll just be kind of like you said with the Fantastic Four and Black Panther. I don't know if they'll really give us a X-Men backstory. Even though at this point they could probably do it because it's been years since we've had an X. It's not like the Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four backstory where they've just made multiple movies of backstory.
They take some liberties, dude.
Yeah, I think they could. I think they could get away with an X-Men backstory, origin story, I should say, and be okay. I don't think that would get as much hate as like a Fantastic Four origin story.
Magneto's gonna be black.
That's cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, if you have Holocaust survivor Magneto, he's gonna be like fucking 90 years old.
Yeah.
And like, it's gonna be like 2020, 2021 at the earliest. Well, definitely 2021 at the earliest, before we see an X-Men movie. Well, probably 2022. But anyway, yeah, you can't do. I know other YouTubers have mentioned that. I always thought that, but whatever. Like, they can take credit for it. Yeah, you can't make Magneto Jewish anymore. Yeah, I think he's going to have some fucking shit going on in the 60s. Maybe civil rights. Maybe he's from, like, Huntsville, Alabama or Montgomery, Alabama. Huntsville's awesome. Have you ever been to Huntsville?
No, I don't go. I've actually never been in Alabama.
Other than except for buy fireworks.
Maybe, that to drive through to go to Panama, and there's a place I go down there and
there's a drive-in theater there.
Photography. Yeah, I've been to the drive-in theater. So I've been on the outskirts, like right there at the Georgia-Alabama line. Yeah,
I guess it's a cat's out of the bag. We live in Georgia. It's a big state, though. You'll never find us serial killers.
Ha! Joke's on you.
Yeah, I don't really have any predictions for X-Men either. I just want them to make some good X-Men movies. I think maybe like just the style of them will be a lot different from the Bryan Singer X-Men movies, where it's a lot darker.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Disney has the liberty to make it darker.
I don't think they're gonna make it darker. I kind of want them to make it more lighthearted. I kind of want them to be actual teenage years, like what they're doing with Spider-Man. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
dude.
I agree.
If they grow into adults, and they start off as students and then become like leaders. I think that would be really fucking cool. And you'd have to see them doing some teenage shenanigans and shit. Maybe one of them has a mohawk. I don't know. Fucking millennials these days, man. Millennial X-Men. That's my prediction from that.
We already have Secret Teenage Mutant Ninja Warhead or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Negasonic.
Yeah.
Secret Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I don't know. It's Warhead. That's the only part I need.
I totally skipped this one. Spider-Man Far From Home. Mysterio's showing up. Supposedly as a good guy. I really don't think he's going to be.
I don't.
Fuck what happens in that movie. I mean, I'm excited to see it. I'll love Homecoming, but let's talk about these Sony movies that are getting made. Like Jared Leto has started filming the Morbius the Vampire movie. He starts off as like not a paraplegic, but someone that has trouble walking. It's not like a disability expert, sorry, but he gets experimented on and turns into a vampire. And there's Venom. Did you ever see Venom?
I haven't seen the first one, no.
You're not missing that much. It's not a horrible movie, but it's not like...
I just know Tom Hardy is signed to do a trilogy.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. I'm spoiling this for you. I don't care. Woody Harrelson shows up in a post-credit scene. He's going to be Carnage.
Yeah, I already know that.
Okay, he's like, you best believe when I get out of here, there's going to be carnage, man. It's
I love Woody Harrelson.
I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, he... You think if those movies continue doing good, you think Marvel's ever going to incorporate them? Marvel has a deal with Sony right now to use Spider-Man. Like they technically don't have the rights to the Spider-Man back. They just make a deal with, and technically this next Spider-Man movie that's coming out, that's the end of the contract, but they're most likely going to like renegotiate it because it'd be fucking dumb for them not to. Because like look how much money that version of Spider-Man has made. But do you think like Morbius, Venom, maybe Kraven the Hunter, I think that's gonna be the next Sony movie. Silver Sable. You probably don't know these characters that much, but you think that's ever gonna be a part?
I think Venom has the possibility to, just because of the ties to Spider-Man. Now as the rest of them, I'm not really sure. It would just...
the rest of them are going to be like a universe of their own.
Right.
So maybe they cross I don't know. I think at the end, like they might cross it over. Back to Spider-Man, I think they're building up towards a Sinister Six movie because they were supposed to do a Sinister Six movie in 2016, which was a spin-off movie of that Amazing Spider-Man 2.
They teased it at the end.
Yeah, they teased it at the end. Drew Goddard was supposed to do it. He's also supposed to do X-Force, and now since the Disney-Fox merger happened, X-Force probably isn't happening either, which was also teased in Deadpool 2. So that sucks for that guy. That's happened to him twice. Do you think they're building towards a Sinister Six movie with Vulture and Mysterio?
I think the possibility's there because you had... Vulture ran into the Scorpion.
Yeah, I think he might be a part of it.
Yeah. Right. So I think the possibility.
How fucking dark was that? He's like, you know who Spider-Man is? Word on the street is, my friend wants to like cut his head off and like stick it in a dryer. What a fucking weird thing to say. Ooh, who else do you think would be a part of the Sinister Six if like they're not including like Venom and like these people? You think Green Goblin maybe be the fourth member / leader?
Maybe if they decide to go back and do a Green Goblin, we could possibly see Rhino.
I don't think they're gonna touch Electro because a lot of people hated Jamie Foxx as Electro. It's a pretty fucking... I laughed. I probably shouldn't... I don't think they were going for a laughing effect, but when we watched that, I fucking laughed.
When he, like, in his mind, he grabbed the dude by his shirt. He's like, what the fuck did you say?
What'd you fucking say about Spider-Man?
He's, like, flipping out, and then it just, like, pans back to him. He's just standing there. He's like...
All right. Yeah, I don't think they're doing Electro after that.
That's the funniest part of that movie.
I don't think it was supposed to be.
No, I don't think so either, but it definitely was.
Yeah, I think the third Spider-Man is going to be a Green Goblin. Fucking two other members of... it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, I think they're building for a Sinister Six versus Spider-Man. Black Widow, I believe, other than the Eternals, which we kind of touched on, I don't really know enough to talk about that, is the last movie I don't really know shit about Black Widow either, other than what's going on in the movies. So I'll just ask you, do you think that this Black Widow movie would be a prequel, the third prequel in the MCU, or do you think it would be a post-Endgame movie?
I think it's going to be post Endgame because we've already got her backstory pretty much from the past Marvel movies. Like they've already kind of explained it. So yeah, I think it ends up being something post Endgame. I think she goes maybe back to maybe not her exact way of life that she had before she joined the Avengers, but maybe something kind of similar.
Okay. Final question to you, and we'll wrap this thing up. What do you think the next Avengers movie? What you have any idea, prediction, what you think that's going to be about?
I really don't. With probably most of the original Avengers not having a lot to do with it after this.
I think it's going to be mainly these, as you called them, Phase 2 Avengers.
Right.
Maybe they fight against Doctor Doom. Maybe Kang the Conqueror. I don't really know either. That's going to be cool. It'd be cool if some of the old Avengers made appearances. Or maybe like Cap and Tony Stark only show up during Avengers movies now. And I don't know.
It would be cool to see, like you said, them introduce the Fantastic Four. And then this all like they pretty much do what they've done with this universe. They use Black Panther, Spider-Man, and all them and bring them together.
Mm-hmm.
And something happens, and then they're like, oh, well, aside from Black Panther and the Guardians, we've never faced anything like this. So let's go, get the guys who have done this 3 or 4 times. And yeah, that would be cool to be like, hey, guys, here's Iron Man, and here's Captain again.
Yeah. Do you think this saga of films, this Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, as people have kind of called it, of Marvel movies, do you think they started off slow and they built up towards this giant saga and giant conclusion? Do you think they're going to kind of start over, like make movies smaller and then have them build up? Like not everything's going to be like universal stakes again. I mean, clearly not if there's like a Black Widow movie, but like...
Well, that, and then in the Spider-Man movie, it doesn't really seem like...
Yeah.
They're connected, even in the first Spider-Man, and it doesn't really seem like, even though Spider-Man was there in Civil War and he knows what's going on.
Very small movie.
Yeah, he wasn't there wasn't a whole lot going on aside from Iron Man showing up in it. There wasn't a whole lot that was just like, hey, this is all tied to what's going to happen in the Avengers or what's going to happen later on down the road. It's just like, here's Spider-Man, here's a story for him, here's his thing.
I don't know. It's cool to see where it goes because it could go anywhere. I kind of have a feeling that they're gonna start off small and then build up towards something. I have no idea what it's gonna be though. I don't know who the big bad is gonna be. I guess we'll see. Well, my throat is completely dried. I'm sure that you guys have heard my empty water bottle cracking a few times. I saw the fucking spikes on this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. We're really excited about this channel, and if you guys support your Yackoffs, that would be cool. And if not, well, we're just having fun doing this shit. It's nice to try it. I don't really have anywhere to plug right now, social media wise. I know you're doing a few things. All I'll say is that Adam and I are also working on a music project, so keep an ear out for that if you're a prog rock, prog metal fan. You have anything you want to promote?
Aside from that, I have some projects in the work. I'm not going to talk too much about them now. You can find me on Instagram at Rocky_top is the name. And you can find my photography page under Vision_this photography.
So you have another fucking venture.
Right.
It's
yes.
like, why are you
I'm a photographer. Yes. Vision_this photography Instagram. You can find me at Vision This Photography GA on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much
it. If you know us, are local, and you want Adam to take pictures. He has also said that he is gonna start letting dudes do spreads, full butt cheek spreads, full ass cheeks,
as Mike Poncho,
as many dingleberries as can fit in his lens. Just hit him up. He's great at what he does. Okay, well, I'm going to go cough a lot. Thanks for tuning in, all 4 of you. Oh, there's maybe 5 of you. And see you next time. And you thought we were done. No, not really, because I have taken a long time to edit this video. March 30th is where we did this video up to the sign-off point, and that was like 9 days ago. Today, a new piece of footage just dropped, and also an extended version of that footage aired at Cinemacon, and we have a description of that. And the most important thing is a new trailer came out as well. I'm not really changing any of my theories. I still hold to all of them. I think that Thanos is still going to be the big bad of this movie. I'm hearing some people speculate that he's going to die off early. I think he's going to die off early, but I think he's going to bring in a new, like, alternate version of himself from a different reality. That's going to be how the Avengers discover the multiverse. It's not going to be Scott Lang, because Scott Lang doesn't really know anything about the multiverse. He knows about the quantum realm, but it's so much bigger than that. The only person that knew anything about the multiverse is Doctor Strange, and he's not there anymore. So I think that Thanos is going to send a new and less charred and less scarred version of himself at the Avengers from a different reality. And in this footage from Cinemacon, I heard that Thanos might snap the gauntlet again, or utilize the gauntlet somehow in a big bad way. Rocket was able to detect the energy signature coming from the gauntlet during the snap, and then he detected it again after the snap. Now, I'll post a link to all that stuff so I don't have to try to explain it to anyone who hadn't heard it that's listening to this. But I think that the new second energy signature that Rocket was reading was actually Thanos snapping a different version of himself into this universe. We know that the gauntlet is burnt and damaged because of the director's commentary, and I don't think Thanos could do something super huge, but he might use the rest of this gauntlet from the whatever, I still didn't look it up, the C-17 version of the Marvel Universe. He might use what's left of that energy to summon a different version of himself. And I think all the new stuff that's come out, it kind of makes me double down into my theory that I had about Thanos dying off in the beginning. That the team's definitely gunning for Thanos, and I'm pretty sure the footage that was shown today, they were going after Thanos, and I'm pretty sure that is early on in the movie. So nothing's really changed. I like the trailer. I'm more hyped. That's really the only thing that has changed. Hey, I think I sound less retarded now. Adam's not with me, by the way. Man, that was kind of a weird podcast. This is the first time me and him ever tried to do something like that, and I was just trying to remember everything that I wanted to talk about and kind of trying to like lead the conversation into a certain way. I promise me and Adam are both really funny. Adam's a smart dude, even though he talks Southern, and you can hear some like Southern talking where he doesn't say the right words sometimes. And talk shit about him. I sounded like a fucking genius too. Right. No, not really. Okay. Thanks for everyone listening, and we'll have our shit better next time. This was a huge learning experience, and we're gonna keep at it, and we're gonna not pause so much, and hopefully I'm not gonna have to edit as much shit out. But take care. Love y'all. No homo. I mean, maybe a little homo, and that's okay. You know, it's 2019. Who gives a fuck? Well, see you after Avengers. We're gonna do a big video about that as well. Okay. Bye for realsies this time.